Good day everyone. For today's video, I'm gonna be discussing about the Filipino traits and characteristics. Filipinos' positive traits are the following: faith in God, close family ties, welcoming to visitors, obedient and dutiful, respectful, helpful, diligent and patient, resourcefulness and creativeness, cheerful, thrifty and frugal. The first positive trait of Filipinos in our list is the faith in God. We may have different religions in different sectors of our country, but what consistent is that we all have one strong form of faith. Filipino are very religious. The Philippines is predominantly a Catholic country. Filipinos are known for our religious and our faith in God. And wherever the Filipinos go, they always make it to a point to honor God Almighty. Tourists can attend to many churches, old and new, erected in the country. In all corners of a Filipino house, you can find brazen images of crosses and other religious paraphernalia. They go to church every Sunday or sometimes even twice or three times a week. Second in our list is the close family ties. Filipinos enjoy the feeling of having and knowing family members around us. From cousins, aunts, uncles, and grandparents, some families share their homes, celebrate holidays, and lend a hand to relatives when it is needed. Filipinos take pride in their families. In the Philippines, it is family first. So whether you are a part of the immediate family or you belong to the third or fourth generation, you are treated as a family member. Sometimes even the closest of friends are considered family too. Excuse me. Only in the Philippines you will see families that band together like no other. In a typical household, you'll see extended families like the grandparents and the couple's siblings, all coexisting harmoniously with the nuclear family. Third on our list on the positive traits of the Filipinos is welcoming to visitors, also known as hospitality. When we have people visit our homes, we always welcome them with smiles, conversations, and foods. Filipinos are known for being hospitable, especially to tourists and wanderers who do not have place to stay, and who do not have a place to stay, rather. In some tourist spots such as Baguio City, locals even offer the comfort of their own homes for tourists who need a place to stay for a night or two. Isn't that amazing? Obedient and dutiful. In our culture, we always respect and follow what our parents and adults advise us to do. Not talking back and trusting the adults around us has always been a part of who we are. Filipinos are also very committed individuals, especially in the workforce. Tourists admire Filipinos, ballets, and bellboys who always extend a helping hand to them. Despite calling on their service in the wee hours, there is no snobbish attitude among the Filipinos. Filipinos are very respectful. From the mano to saying po and opo to our elders, these that are a part of our language show how we respect people. Filipinos are very respectful. From the moment that they are born into this world, they are already taught how to be respectful by saying or by using these simple catchphrases, po and opo. Words that end sentences when addressing elders. They have a culture of pagmamano, which is where they raise the backs of the hands of their elders to their foreheads as a sign of respect. It is also an act that means they are asking for their elders' blessing. Filipinos are helpful. It is expected that we help out in the house and offer help to the siblings, friends, and relatives when we can. We have the Bayanihan Act spirit in us, and it is why in times of calamities or disaster, Filipinos are mostly helpful to one another. Filipinos are generally liked by tourists because they do not choose whom to help. When someone needs assistance, they readily come to their aid. More popularly known as Bayanihan, Filipinos help one another. without expecting anything in return, so that undertaking their tasks and responsibilities become much easier. Sometimes this is called community spirit. Filipinos are diligent and patient. Majority of our livelihood in the Philippines is based on agriculture. It takes a lot of backbreaking work to plant the fields. Then it takes patience to care, water, and harvest it. Filipinos are the typical that is hardworking and has no qualms about working beyond their schedule. They are very industrious. Another thing about the Filipinos are resourcefulness and creativeness. During the times when we don't have the means to accomplish something, we find ingenious ways of using what we have to solve our problems. Filipinos are very talented and highly creative. They can fashion instruments out of kitchen utensils and could solve problems at the snap of a finger, thanks to our resourcefulness. One thing that is notable about the Filipinos are their cheerfulness. Because we've been through a lot of trials in our history, Filipinos have learned not to be depressed. Rather, we find a joke to try and have fun even during the times of difficulty. Filipinos are known for being very resilient. In times of calamities and catastrophes, Filipinos always manage to rise above the challenge. Instead of following, they manage to pick themselves up and smile. Despite being Despite being a path for typhoons, Filipinos remain positive about their situation. Whatever problems come their way, they always greet visitors with a smile on their faces and say, "It's okay." Another one of our traits is being thrifty and frugal. We don't like to waste anything since we don't have a lot. We are careful of what we have, knowing that it will serve us well for a very long time. Many disasters, phenomena, and trials had taught every Filipino to think critically. One of the positive characteristics of Filipino is being thrifty or matipid. It is not only a useful and ordinary personality one Pinoy must have, but it is also called discarte. It is our own way to overcome poverty and to develop practicality. According to Abjar 2014, thriftiness teaches us to be prepared for the next emergency or calamity that will strike us. We become money wise in budgeting and saving money. Some Filipinos can live beyond their means, but on the other side, there are also many Filipinos who are living frugal. We shop wisely to save money for future uses. We are conscious on price tag, discounts, and quality of the products to buy to get the most of our to get the most out of our money. Filipino parents also do sacrifices like skipping the stuff they want to buy for themselves just to save their money to buy things that can make their children happy. These are the negative traits of Filipinos. Ningas kugun, manyanya habit, crab mentality, colonial mentality, bahala na mentality, sore losers, and the lack of discipline. While Filipinos are known for tremendous hospitality, generosity, and different cultures, yet some cultural traits of Filipinos are toxic. One of the Filipino toxic traits is Ningas Kugun. Ningas Kugun is the lack of sustained perseverance. It also means a tendency among individuals to start a new venture or task with too much enthusiasm and effort, but after some time will take a pause or will suddenly stop working, until such time that they lose interest in the venture or task, leaving things incomplete just like a wildfire burning out quickly. Another toxic trait of the Filipino is the manyanya habit. Sometimes Filipino would like to put off doing things until it is too much late. Examples are fixing what needs to be fixed or saving money for future expenditures. Manyanya habit is one of the most negative traits of some people. It means mamayana in Filipino or to do a certain thing later in time. It is a procrastinate way of doing things or simple means of finding a way to delay the work to be done. Another toxic trait of a Filipino is the crab mentality. Filipinos sometimes get jealous of other people's success, that they find a way to pull the other person down, that rather than striving to be better. Crab mentality is a phenomenon where people react negatively, in terms of their thoughts, statements, or actions, to those who get ahead of them, even though they don't expect there to be direct benefits of doing so. For example, crab mentality can cause someone to discourage or sabotage their friend who is starting to do well at school, simply because they are bitter about struggling with their own studies. Another toxic trait of a Filipino is the colonial mentality. If something is made in America or other country of a foreign brand, we often think it is a greater quality than the local product. So we buy foreign products more than we would buy locally made products. And we always think that foreign brands or imported products are always better than the local products that are found in our country. Filipinos are very fond of imported products, especially that most of our families tend to work abroad and they bring a lot of products from outside the country. Also, one of the most toxic Filipino traits is the bahala na mentality. Bahala na when helpless, we tend not to act to solve our problems. We usually don't plan ahead or plan for contingencies. Instead of covering all our bases, we simply let the fates dictate what will happen. Bahala na is one of the most widely used phrases in the Philippines. The phrase is so abused that it is sometimes serves as a default answer. What does it exactly mean and how it is used? Filipino usually say bahala na when they are unable to decide their next course of action, or when they have no idea what will happen next. They say this phrase as if all they want is to go with the flow, not minding what the outcome might be. Sore loser. Many times, Filipino become very competitive and hate losing. At times, when we lose, we always find a way to get even. This is also somehow related to crab mentality. When the other person is doing good or they are successful, and because we lose, we always find a way to sabotage them or something that will annoy them. The Filipinos' lack of discipline. Pollution, traffic rules, and following the laws are things Filipinos tend to ignore. We like to sell our wares on the street, beat the red light, and throw our garbage in the wrong places. This is the most negative trait of a Filipino. We Filipinos tend to think that sometimes we are above the law and we do not care about the law. We Filipinos sometimes do whatever we want, not knowing what the consequences it will bring.